not knowing that she's not going to come to that door.
Today marks 6 days since someone shot and killed Mackenzie Ridley outside the Far East Recreation Center in Columbus. The 17-year-old's parents tell us this is the longest they've gone without speaking to their daughter. Tonight, her family and friends honored her life with a vigil at the retreat at Turnberry. NBC4's Eric Halpern is live at the park tonight. And Eric, a lot of community members attended the vigil.
Carrie, earlier tonight, there were hundreds of people here supporting Mackenzie's family during what was understandably an incredibly emotional night. All of them having some connection to Mackenzie, saying they don't want her life to be forgotten.
But this young girl who did everything right, of course she's a teenager. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not trying to say anything's perfect. I don't know her personally. But a young girl who's on the right path, doing the right thing. And just 2 months ago, we had a young girl who, yes, she was, her parents, who had two parents who lived in the town, who was in foster care, who was fighting in the street, who was not the victim, who was not being bullied, who was fighting, giving it as good as she got it with some older girls who lived at her foster home. Who formerly lived at her foster home. And attempted to stab another one in the neck in front of a cop. And she was killed. Everyone remembers her. No one will remember Mackenzie Ridley. No one will do a story on it on YouTube other than this channel. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Because Mackenzie Ridley happens all the time. How many McKinley Ridleys are there every week? 12? 13? Now, I know there's a lot of cities, and this is a big country, but that never stops you guys from getting complaining when one full-grown, able-bodied man is killed while fighting with police during an arrest for a crime that he legitimately committed. The fact that there's 17,985 police departments, and this is just a huge country we live in, doesn't quench your outrage when that happens. So why should it quench your outrage when 20 of these happen a week, McKinley Ridley? 20 of them a week. I only give you guys a drop in the bucket. I'm one guy. Make sure you donate and take the $5 challenge. I can do more. I can try to do more, squeeze in more. I got a newborn.
Go to that door.
Today marks 6 days since someone shot and killed Mackenzie Ridley outside the Far East Recreation Center in Columbus. The 17-year-old's parents tell us this is the longest they've gone without speaking to their daughter. Tonight, her family and friends honored her life with a vigil at the retreat at Turnberry. NBC4's Eric Halpern is live at the park tonight. And Eric, a lot of community members attended the vigil.
Carrie, earlier tonight, there were hundreds of people here supporting Mackenzie's family during what was understandably an incredibly emotional night. All of them having some connection to Mackenzie, saying they don't want her life to be forgotten.
Justice for Mackenzie! Justice for
graduation banner, wearing shirts covered in pictures of her. Mackenzie Ridley's friends calling for justice Wednesday night.
We have to stop the violence. Y'all took the life of an innocent, sweet, loving, caring little girl. She just graduated. She had a full head on her shoulders.
Ariane Ridley is Mackenzie's first cousin. She joined hundreds wearing orange and white with matching balloons to honor the 17-year-old. Orange was her favorite color.
We're going to continue to live for Mackenzie. It's going to be long live Mackenzie forever.
It was just 6 days ago when Mackenzie was shot and killed during what police say was a large gathering outside the Far East Rec Center.
A large gathering outside a rec center. Isn't that what we hear all the time? Build more rec centers. We need more rec centers. More rec centers. That's all we hear from these liberals. That's going to kill everything. You leave it up to them, there'll be a rec center on every corner. Be more rec centers than bodegas. Than Chinese carryouts. Well, you know the problem with the rec center? Building more rec centers? And the rec center as the solution to crime in the community? Everyone gets to go to the rec center. And within at least, let's just say you build a rec center today, a week from now, the rec center is going to be a gangster's paradise. That's where all the hooligans and hoodlums going to hang out at. That's where all the bad bees going to hang out at. And they should. It's a community center, right? They live in the community. They should be able to go down there. However, when they go down there, they bring their gangbanging and their beefs and their cliques and their crews and their fighting and their all that stuff with them. And they're sneaking up on people and shooting them. They bring all that with them. So if you get in the comment section and try to act like I'm calling for the certain people in the community to be discriminated against in rec centers, I'm going to have one of the moderators block you into infinity. Because I'm not saying that. They're part of the community. And the rec center doesn't increase the crime. It just moves the crime down to the rec center. How many stories have I done on kids getting killed at the rec center in Philadelphia? Cities like that. This happens all the time. The rec center is not a safe place for kids. It's not a haven. Let me put it like that. It's not a haven. It's not a place where they can escape crime. Yes, it's a place they can go play games and have fun, do homework, sheltered from the weather, play basketball, have adult supervision. Yeah. It's a place where they can have adult supervision. Great. There's some good things about the rec center. The rec center gives a lot of people a place to go, especially kids who don't have, that home environment, or kids that, may not be able to fully cut it on the streets, on the mean streets. But many times the streets come to the rec center, so it's a very complicated situation.
We're going to continue to live for Mackenzie. It's going to be long live Mackenzie forever.
It was just 6 days ago when Mackenzie was shot and killed during what police say was a large gathering outside the Far East Rec Center. She had just graduated high school earlier this month. Her friends say she was the most supportive person and she always lit up the room.
And so I just want you to know that our fairy, our beautiful angel, guardian angels all around us, she's here right now.
In the middle of everyone, Mackenzie's mother, thanking her daughter's best friends for never leaving her side. She says Mackenzie touched countless lives. The size of the crowd showing that, reaching out with a message to Mackenzie when letting go of their balloons.
I just want nobody to forget Mackenzie because Mackenzie won't forget nobody.
And Mackenzie's mom also says a lot of people have been coming to her with information about last Thursday night. She thanked them for that, but she's also urging them they need to go to police. The lead detective was here tonight, and she pointed him out to the crowd.
There lies another problem. This allegiance to criminals. Now, the guys who did that drive-by are the guys who did that drive-by. The guys who shot up to that crowd are the guys who shot up that crowd. But everyone in the community feels like they were in on it and they have to, like, hold water and keep it a secret. Now, here's the clincher. Here's the craziest Twilight Zone, because you know we live in the Twilight Zone. Let's just say it was 4 guys that were involved in this shooting. If they catch one of them, oh, he's going to tell everything. Yeah, he's going to tell on the other 3. If they catch 2 of them, they're going to tell on the other 2. Like, you know, you get these young boys in a room with a seasoned investigator. These young boys 18, 17, 18, 19. They get these boys in the room with a seasoned investigator, interrogator. These boys going to tell everything. And you see it all the time on First 48 and, you know, other shows and whatnot. And if you know about, people who've been through this, they telling everything. Okay? But you have a lot of people in this community who know what happened. Who are upstanding citizen, law-abiding citizen. Had nothing to do with this. And they know exactly who did it and exactly what happened. And they won't tell the police. And I get it. I mean, I understand the fear because you're going to be ostracized if it gets out. But they have a tip line. We so scared of these little hoodlums that we won't even call the tip line. They got a new thing on the tip line where it won't even record your voice. It will just turn your whatever you say into a transcript. So that even if somehow the thugs are hackers and they hack the tip line and go in and listen to it, which has never happened, but let's just say that happened, they can't even hear your voice. They only get the transcript. 100% anonymous. But they're going to need somebody to stand up in court and point those guys out or testify against those guys. So they will need that in court. But it just be crazy because a lot of cases these detectives have no leads, none, and it's 100 people there, and I guarantee you everybody there knows what happened. They know who did this, and now we know that the mother knows who did it. Now they've told her people. If I lived in Columbus, I would know. If you lived in Columbus and you would know. But it's a bizarre place, man. Very strange place, man.
His family is forced to say goodbye to a child too soon. Mackenzie Riley was shot and killed last night while she was hanging out at the Far East Community Center. That's where Crime Tracker 10's Lacey Crisp joins us now live. Lacey? Yeah, the teens gathered at this rec center for a water balloon fight, but someone brought a gun. Now police.
Water balloon fight. And someone brought a gun. A water balloon fight and someone brought a gun. This is why I say we live in the twilight zone, because this stuff is just, it's sad, it's strange. I don't know, I just have a mix of emotions when I hear these stories. And oftentimes I'm left speechless. People say, you talk too much. Get on with it. Yeah, but it was a water balloon fight. Someone brought a gun and just sprayed, and this little girl got killed with her whole life ahead of her. And everyone who knows who did it, and it's still a mystery. Like, that's some odd stuff. That requires more than just a 10-second synopsis. That's some strange stuff, Jack.
Yeah, the teens gathered at this rec center for a water balloon fight, but someone brought a gun. Now police.
17-year-old Mackenzie Ridley had just graduated from Northland High School. Her banner still stands in her mom's front yard. She was a good kid, volunteered to feed the homeless, was heading off to college in the fall. But now that won't happen because she decided to go to a rec center with friends, a place that's supposed to be safe for kids.
Ideally, that's what it's supposed to be. That's why they were created, right? That's what we pay for, to give the kids extracurricular activities, to keep them out the streets. But then when you take the streets to the rec center, now what?
I was enraged and devastated.
On her first day in the job, Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant says focusing on preventing gun violence, especially amongst youth, is her top priority.
She was at a park enjoying herself with other young people.
The police chief in Columbus is also a sister. And listen, sisters, this is not nothing against y'all. It's just like, dang. Like, for this racist, misogynistic, sexist, systematic institution, every city we go to, I hit one in the comment section. If you're just like, sometimes you're floored. If you're taken aback by how many police chiefs in this country are sisters. Like, they're overrepresented. Like, they make up 7% of the population. They're like 50% of the police chiefs. It's just the darndest thing. Like, I mean, mayors, okay. All right, mayors, I could understand. We've seen that for decades. Police chiefs, though, that's just odd. I'm always taken aback by that. Like, not because I don't like sisters, I don't think they're qualified. That's beside the point. What I think about the qualifications. Jeez, every city we go to, every city we go, every other video, no matter where we go, it's a sister in control. God, dog. Are you kidding me?
I was enraged and devastated.
On her first day in the job, Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant says focusing on preventing gun violence, especially amongst youth, is her top priority.
She was at a park enjoying herself with other young people. There were over 100 kids there. They were having fun. And then someone decided to come and disrupt that fun with gun violence, this senseless act of gun violence.
Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther has spoken several times about the record-setting violence. There are already more homicides this year than entire years past, and it's not even July.
This is why I rail against the white liberals so much. And I know y'all like, damn, what we got to do with this? White liberals like, damn, what we have to do with this? I get it, you white liberals. I'm reaching here to involve y'all in this one, but I don't like y'all. So. The whole mainstream media was just in this city for weeks. They had all their crews, they had all their trucks, all their their cameras, all their satellites. Everybody was camped out there for a week in this city for a week. Just a couple months ago for the Ma'Khia thing. Look at the murder rate this year compared to other years. And there was no one addressed this. No one addressed this. You wouldn't have known this after the week they spent in Columbus. If you watch CNN or MSNBC or on Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or the BNC or any other pro-black news network or anything, you wouldn't have known the Young Turks. You would not have known it, like, literally. Look at that number for 2020 compared to the other years. That's not just a small, that's not small potato. A community feels that. I've been in places where I've lived in communities where the murder rate skyrocketed like that. I lived in DC in the 80s where we would have like 100-something murders a year. Then boom, it was 400 and 500. In like 1 year, it jumped from that. And then like 10 years later, it went down to like 200. And then it was like 150. So you can tell, I've been in cities where it's risen and where it's went down. You'll feel that. Especially if you're a young person, because most of the young people are the shooters and they're the victims of this stuff. And by young people, I mean 15 to 35. If you're in that demographic, you feel that. Like you know that, because these are people you know, people you went to school with, people you might work with, people you went to high school with, people you hung out with in the club, whatever. Because they feel that when it just jumps like that in 1 year. In the mainstream media, the entire mainstream media apparatus, ABC, CBS, NBC, were all there for a week. And you would not have known this. They didn't mention this one time. None of them. And you know what? You want to go to the gun memorial for Columbus? What are they? Look at this. Look at this. Overrepresented like a mug. Look at this. And just compared to their population in the city. compared to the amount of people, their population in the city. Look at this. Look at their overrepresentation, and look at the female representation. Look at the sisters on here. Just out and about and getting killed. Just being somewhere and it's nothing. So what happened to this girl? This happens all the time in this place.
About a month ago, you had a press conference announcing that you are going to open up rec centers late nights for a safe place for teens to gather. What are you going to do to make sure that those rec centers are in fact safe places for teens to gather?
We put
resources. What is that code for? I'm going to give you a second to figure out what resources is code word for. Cops. Whenever you hear them talk about resources, they're talking about cops. They need cops to monitor, supervise, surveil, and serve as a deterrent when they have these kids at these rec centers. So if that's the case, how is the rec center the answer or the solution to this out of control murder rate in this city? Because this isn't crime, this is murder.
About a month ago, you had a press conference announcing that you are going to open up rec centers late nights for a safe place for teens to gather. What are you going to do to make sure that those rec centers are in fact safe places for teens to gather?
We put additional resources into both security. We're also hiring officers to patrol, our pools.
You can see the grief on her face. Seneca doesn't want another mother to feel her pain.
You don't want to keep losing babies like this. These are our future. You don't want to lose them. If you're stuck with all the villains, then what's for the future? If they're killing off the good kids.
Yeah, so Mackenzie is the 9th child under the age of 18 to be killed in the city of Columbus already this year. Reporting live, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.